Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the City of Oxnard Planning Commission for Thursday, April 20, 2023. The meeting will come to order at 6 p.m. The public may view the meeting from home on the city's website, Spectrum Channel 10, Frontier Channel 35, or on the city's YouTube website. To participate in the meeting, the public may provide comments to the Planning Commission via email at planning@oxnard.org no later than 3 p.m. on the day of the meeting, or through the city's website, or call the Planning Division office. Additionally, those wishing to speak can dial the phone number listed at the bottom of the screen, follow the instructions to access the meeting, and press star 9 to raise your hand, indicating your intention to speak on the agenda item being called. Madam Secretary, can we please have the roll call?
Chair Rejo.
Here.
Vice Chair Stewart.
Present.
Commissioner Chavez.
Here.
Commissioner Connolly.
Here.
Commissioner Dr. Lopez.
Here.
Commissioner Nash.
Present.
Commissioner Sealsdorf.
Here.
And we have a quorum.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. We will now move on to the Pledge of Allegiance. Commissioner Dr. Lopez, will you kindly lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Absolutely. Place your hand over your heart. Join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Dr. Lopez. The next agenda item is C, public comments on items not on the agenda. At this time, a person may address the Planning Commission on matters within the jurisdiction of the Planning Commission, including information consent items and any time not appearing on the agenda. The Planning Commission cannot take action on any item presented during public comments that is not on the agenda, and such item may only be referred to the Commission Secretary. Persons wishing to speak on public hearing items should do so at the time of the public hearing. Madam Secretary, are there any public comments for items not on the agenda?
Not that I can see.
Thank you very much. The next agenda item is D, consent agenda. The minutes for D1, January 19, and D2, February 2 were distributed with the agenda packet. Are there any corrections to the minutes for either January 19 or February 2? I am going to state that on January 19, there were a couple of corrections. I don't know.
Production, can we have the minutes up?
Thank you. There were just a couple on January 19, page 3. The vote is said 522. It should be 502. And on page 4, there was just a, instead of saying the motion did not failed, it should be motion failed 232. Fairly simple changes. Are there any corrections to January 19 or any to February 2?
They shouldn't be able to hear us. We're just a panelist.
For anyone on Zoom, if you could please mute yourself. We do hear a couple people. Thank you very much. Because there were different absences on the separate meetings, I'm gonna, if there's no objections, request votes on each of the minutes separately. Seeing no objection, Madam Secretary, can we have a vote or roll call on the January 19 minutes as amended? Oh, apologies. Is there a motion for the minutes as amended? Yeah.
So
Commissioner
moved.
Nash. Thank you,
Second.
Commissioner Nash. Seconded by Vice Chair Stewart. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Nash.
Aye.
Vice Chair Stewart.
Yes.
Commissioner Chavez.
Aye.
Commissioner Sealsdorf.
Aye.
Commissioner Connolly.
Abstain.
Commissioner Dr. Lopez.
Aye.
Chair Rejo.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you. And now looking for a motion for February 2.
Chavez moves.
Moved by Commissioner Chavez.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Nash. Roll call, please.
Chair Chavez.
Commissioner Chavez?
Commissioner Chavez, I'm so sorry. Commissioner Nash.
Aye.
Vice Chair Stewart.
Yes.
Commissioner Dr. Lopez.
Aye.
Commissioner Connolly.
Aye.
Commissioner Sealstorf.
Aye.
Vice Chair Stewart.
Yes.
And Chair Rejo.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Thank you. The next agenda item, E, ex parte declarations for public hearing items. If you have any ex parte declarations, if any, we'll go across the dais. Commissioner Connolly.
None, thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Commissioner Dr. Lopez.
I'm going to be recusing myself from item 2, just based upon the distance from property line to property line of my residence. I will be recusing myself on item 2.
Thank you, Commissioner Dr. Lopez. Commissioner Chavez.
None, thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chair Stewart.
None, thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Nash.
None, thank you.
Thanks. And Commissioner Zilstorf.
None, thank you, Chair.
Thank you, and none for myself. Now we will all go to Section F, Public Hearing. Item F1, Catamaran Duplex, Planning and Zoning Permit Number 22-400-04, Coastal Development Permit to authorize the construction of a residential duplex totaling 5,154 square feet located at 920 Catamaran. A request to construct a two-story, 5,154 square foot residential duplex building consisting of two attached three-bedroom dwelling units, which are each 2,577 square feet, with an attached two-car garage. Will also include a 120 square foot covered patio, a 44 square foot porch, and a 290 square foot deck on a 6480 square foot vacant lot. Filed by Rick Moraga on behalf of property owner Morris Dunes. City staff on this is Susan Hernandez, contract planner. Does staff want to provide, per Measure M, a staff presentation has been pre-recorded and the link has been posted to YouTube. Does staff want to provide a summary or additional analysis at this time?
Hello, my name is Susan Hernandez, the contract planner for this project. As you have summarized, this project is a request to approve a coastal development permit to construct a 5,154 square foot residential duplex on an undeveloped 6,480 square foot lot. The project is compliant with the general plan requirements, zoning standards, and design and development standards of the Dunes Neighborhood Resolution, and no comments have been received for this project.
Thank you very much, Ms. Hernandez. If there is no objection, we will have the applicant, if they're present at this time. Seeing none.
Hello.
Oh, thank you. Sir, you have 10 minutes if you would like. You don't have to use all of it, and you can begin at your leisure. Thanks.
I don't have any additional information to add. I did look at the presentation that was nicely done for our project, the pre-recorded presentation. If there are no questions or objections, then I really don't have a lot to add. Thanks.
Thank you very much, sir. At this time, members may ask questions of the applicant and/or staff. Commission. Seeing and hearing none, Madam Secretary, is there public comment?
No.
Thank you very much. I will now close the hearing to public comment. Are there any closing remarks from staff? Thank you, and we will now move on to deliberation. Commission again.
Chair,
Commissioner Chavez.
if there's no deliberative comments, move the recommended action.
Thank you.
Second.
Commissioner Chavez has moved and Commissioner Nash has seconded the motion to find the project to be category exempt from environmental review pursuant to CEQA Guidelines Section 15303 and adopt Resolution 2023-XX approving planning and zoning permit number 22-400-04, subject to certain findings and conditions. Is there any deliberation on this motion? Seeing and hearing none, Madam Secretary, can we have the roll call, please?
Commissioner Chavez.
Aye.
Commissioner Nash.
Aye.
Commissioner Dr. Lopez.
Aye.
Commissioner Connolly.
Aye.
Commissioner Seelsdorf,
Aye.
Vice Chair Stewart,
Aye.
Chair Rejo.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you very much. And now we will move on to the next agenda item, F2. Before that, we'll stand at ease while Commissioner Dr. Lopez moves off the dais. And thank you very much. We will now go to F2, General Plan Conformity for Waterline Easement Vacation, 4201 and 4211 West Hemlock Street, Planning and Zoning Permit number 23-625-01. A request that Planning Commission adopt a resolution affirming that partially vacating a waterline easement on the properties 4201 and 4211 West Hemlock Street is in conformance with the City of Oxnard 2030 General Plan. The site is located within the 2030 General Plan land use designation of REX, residential existing, and is zoned single-family water-oriented RW1 in the City of Oxnard, requested by applicants Mark and C.H.I. Herman, 707 Camarillo, California, via Zamora, Camarillo, California. City staff Daniel Hook, please correct me when you introduce yourself if that's incorrect pronunciation, associate planner with city staff. Does staff want to provide summary or additional analysis at this time?
So, Chair Rejo, just taking a quick second to introduce one of our new planners. I believe this is his first time coming before the commission. This is Daniel Hauk. We all have mispronounced his name at least once. Who's been joining us, and we're excited to have him here as part of our team. So you'll be seeing him come before you guys again, and I will hand it over to him if he wants to add anything on, as it relates to this project.
Do I need to hit? Oh. I have nothing to add. Nice to meet you all for the first time.
Welcome, Mr. Hook. Appreciate it and looking forward to seeing you for future items. Since there's no additional summary or analysis, and if there's no objection, if the applicant is on Zoom or in person, they may speak if they have a presentation.
Hi, this is Mark and Chi Herman, and we're the applicants. And we agreed with Daniel's report, and we just hope that the commissioners approve the report. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. At this time, members may ask questions of the applicant and/or staff.
And Chair Rejo, I also just wanted to note that we do have Tai Chow, our supervising civil engineer, here as well, if there are any questions.
I'm sorry, Mr. Pearson, what was the name again?
Tai Chow.
Thank you very much, Mr. Pearson. Commissioner Conley.
Oh, no, I was waving, sorry.
I see. Thank you. Commission? Seeing and hearing none. Madam Secretary, is there any public comment?
None.
Thank you very much. I'll now close the hearing to public comment. If there's no closing remarks from staff, we will now move on to deliberation. Commission. Commissioner Nash.
Seeing and hearing none, I will move the recommended action.
It has been, thank you. It has been moved by Commissioner Nash and seconded by Vice Chair Stewart to find the project exempt from environmental review pursuant to CEQA Guidelines Section 15061B3 and Section 15378B5 and adopt Resolution 2023-XX affirming that the City of Oxnard's proposed partial vacation of the waterline easement at 4201 and 4211 West Hemlock Street is in conformance with the City of Oxnard 2030 General Plan, Coastal Land Use Plan, and recommending that the City Council order the vacation. Is there any deliberation on the motion? Seeing and hearing none, Madam Secretary, can we have the roll call, please?
Commissioner Nash?
Briefly, I want to thank staff for answering my questions. I did not wait until the 11th hour this time, so my vote is aye.
Vice Chair Stewart?
Aye.
Commissioner Chavez?
Aye.
Commissioner Connolly?
Yes.
Commissioner Seelsdorf?
Aye.
Chair Rejo?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you. We will now stand at ease to wait for Commissioner Dr. Lopez to come to the dais. And I see he's here already. Thank you very much. We will now move on to item number 3, 2030 General Plan and Local Coastal Plan Conformity Determination for the City of Oxnard Revised Capital Improvement Program, fiscal years 22 to 27. The Planning Commission will review the revised CIP for fiscal year 22 to 27 to confirm they are in conformance with the City of Oxnard 2030 General Plan and relevant coastal land use plan policies pursuant to Section 65401 of the Government Code. The revised CIP includes equipment replacement at water and wastewater facilities and building repairs and security cameras at various city facilities. The additional proposed CIP projects are located throughout the City of Oxnard and vary in scope and funding, filed by Oxnard Public Works Department. The city staff is Tim Beeman, Supervising Civil Engineer, and Mr. Joe Pearson, Planning Environmental Services Manager. At this time, would staff like to provide summary or additional analysis?
Good evening, Commissioners. Yes, my name is Tim Beeman. I'm a supervising civil engineer for the Public Works Department. I only oversee water, wastewater, and recycled water projects. But many of these affect me. So as you can see, this is a mid-cycle review, and these are projects that we've identified in the last 12 months that need to start immediately, primarily mine for the water and wastewater. But so if you have any questions, please let me know, and I'll answer the best as I can.
Thank you very much. Is there any questions or now move on to the commission. If there's any questions, now's your time to ask of staff. Commissioner Chavez.
Thank you, Chair. I just had a question. I know for the past few years, the wastewater facility has been a hot topic for residents. And I'm glad to see that we are making improvements. Even after these amendments or additions for the CIPs, how much more progress is needed for us to be able to bring all of the entire facility up to acceptable standards?
So I can tell you right now, we are in I'd say the first 25% of a $55 million improvement project at the wastewater treatment plant. Includes electrical building, various replacement of equipment. We're calling it the reliability project because it's really just catching up on some deferred maintenance. I am at the 95% design for the primary clarifiers and activated sludge tanks, which is going to be phase 2. Now, to prevent a conflict with contractors, I have to wait till this current project is nearer to completion to be able to bid that out. And so what really attracted us to this secondary clarifiers is it's kind of separate from the rest of the processes at the plant, and we can attack this project and get it done without interfering or having multiple contractors tripping over each other and claiming, delays and whatnot on each other.
I appreciate that. Excuse me. And then I also noticed that another one was in regards to the water division, the security cameras. Are these just updating what we currently have in place, or are we adding new cameras into some maybe blind spots that were identified later on?
So this is a project that we've been working on for some time, and what we identified is that this particular project is under my oversight, and we didn't want to just work in a silo. And so we recognized that there was other projects that involve IT that for other parts of the city, and instead of just pushing forward with our own project, what we decided to do is kind of take a step back. That particular project, we're doing physical barriers and everything still, but we want to do the cameras as a citywide rollout. Again, just to kind of not operate in a silo and provide the best coverage we can, particularly with how much we put the effort in IT. We don't want them to have a different system for every security camera setup.
Thank you for that. Can you briefly touch on the well 20? It was noted that there was metal shavings found in the screen.
Yeah, so we did find some metal shavings in the screen. Generally, what that's an indication of is that a bearing is worn out and there's pump bowls that are constantly spinning. And so if they're if they're no longer plumb, you'll start to see an odd rotation, which can cause shavings to come up. As soon as we see that, we stop the well. Well 20 is one of our best producing wells. And so this initial study that we're looking to advertise with, as soon as this is all approved, will be all the downhole work. So we'll actually pull the pump bowls, take a look at everything, and then we send a camera down the well. This is kind of a two-phase project. That was the first phase. We identify what's wrong, we make those repairs. And then the second phase is doing some above ground pipe work, adding a meter, bringing everything up to modern day standards.
What is the impact if for well 20 going down or being down for a short period of time?
So it's actually been down for some time. We don't operate the well currently. And what we're looking to do with this project is start returning to redundancy within our system. And we do have a state water connection that can supply water. And we also have Blending Station 3, which has 3 wells, but we're also doing work on. So we time this to line up so we're not, completely dependent on one water source at a time.
Great. And I know that a list of the projects that were completed was the Colonia cast iron pipe replacement. Do you have an exact date or time frame when that was completed?
I don't. That was handled by our in-house design team. But since I spent half my time at water, I can tell you that we did that project prior to the paving because we didn't want to put fresh pavement over old pipe. And that pavement has been done at least 6 months. So
Awesome.
I apologize. I don't have an exact date.
No, I appreciate the information. I don't think parks is your thing, right?
Parks is not, but I did go out there to take a look. I didn't want to, come at you without any information, but it was a fire that affected the building. And we are due insurance money. So before we can spend that insurance money, we need to get CIP approval.
Awesome. Well, thank you for the information. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Chavez. Any other commission members? I had one question. It's not on the 4 that are going to be for our review. It was just the one in regards to the other change for the funding allocation for the Fire Station 4 rebuild. In the future or now, how significant does a change, or if any changes in funding allocation, would they have to ever come back to the Planning Commission? I was just wondering, is our purview just really just the project itself and the funding allocation is purely just for the City Council? And then if I could just have info on what that funding allocation change was for Fire Station 4. Thank you.
So, Chair Arrejo, generally what's before the Planning Commission are the individual projects. So it's really focused on what projects are part of the CIP. So what's really generating this coming back is essentially them adding these 4 projects. So the funding would be something different.
Yes, and thank you for that. And do you know what the change was for the funding allocation? Was it increase, decrease, postpone? Okay, thank you. I'll just do that on follow-up. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Any other questions from the Planning Commission? Seeing and hearing none, Madam Secretary, is there any public comment?
None.
Thank you very much. I'll close the hearing. And are there any closing remarks from staff?
None, thank you.
Thank you very much. And we'll now move on to deliberation. Commission. Commissioner Chavez.
I just want to make a few comments and just briefly say on how appreciative I am of our city staff that they are doing their due diligence to identify problems and not just going out and spending money recklessly. They're identifying, troubleshooting, and then looking for the best solution that is a benefit long-term, that we're not just putting a Band-Aid over it. I know often people would like to paint the city as being a villain, but the reality is we are in a lot better shape than we were 6, 8, 10 years ago. So I appreciate all of that. I would like to see one day, and this might be more directed towards the Parks Commission and the Parks Recreationals, seeing additional parks improvement. I know we just saw three parks get renovated, but there are still a lot of parks in South Oxnard that are going unnoticed and neglected. I've brought up a couple of them multiple times over a span of a year and a half, but hopefully we'll start seeing more of those improvements. And I understand that it all is tied into funding. It's not just something that we just magically start doing. But it would be good to see the parks that need it to actually be able to get that, so our youth have a place and an outlet to enjoy their city, their neighborhoods that they're in. But thank you to our city staff for bringing these items for us for our consideration. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Chavez. Commissioner Dr. Lopez.
I was just going to say, excellent questions by Commissioner Chavez and excellent presentation to staff. If there's no other deliberations, I'd like to move the recommended action.
Thank you. Commissioner Dr. Lopez has moved the recommended action.
Chavez seconds.
Commissioner Chavez seconds the motion to find the revised capital improvement program projects for 22 to 27 is not a project under CEQA pursuant to Section 15601B3 and 15378B4, and adopt Resolution 2023-XX finding that the proposed additional capital improvement projects for 22 to 27 are in conformance with the City of Oxnard 2030 General Plan and relevant coastal land use plan policies pursuant to Section 65401 of the Government Code. Is there any deliberation on the motion? Seeing and hearing none, Madam Secretary, can we have the roll call, please?
Commissioner Dr. Lopez.
Aye.
Commissioner Chavez.
Aye.
Commissioner Connolly.
Aye.
Commissioner Nash.
Aye.
Commissioner Sealsworth.
Aye.
Vice Chair Stewart.
Aye.
Chair Orejo.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. With no other public hearing items, we'll move on to Section G, Study Session Reports. And with none on the agenda, we're going on to Planning Commission business. Is there any business to report from the Planning Commission? Commissioner Chavez.
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to announce real quick that this Saturday is Earth Day. So Metrolink train is offering free rides to all riders. It is also a great opportunity to explore the SoCal region on a train and ditching the traffic behind you. There's also going to be tons of events happening throughout Ventura County, so be sure to look out for those. And I just, again, I know I always say it all the time, but I just want to show my appreciation to my colleagues up here and to our staff for all their hard work that they do. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Chavez. Commissioner Nash.
Thank you, Chair. And correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Pearson, but I believe this coming Monday, down at the South Oxnard Center, there will be a presentation on the Ormond Beach Wetlands Restoration Plan. So I strongly encourage all residents to attend and learn what the city plans for this wonderful area. It'll be a fantastic addition to our city, something that we can all be proud of, and certainly something that South Oxnard, I believe, will benefit immensely from. So this Monday at the South Oxnard Center. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Nash. Any other members? And I would just like to thank everyone. I always love it when all 7 of us, even though I have to crane my neck a little bit more, I think it could use the exercise, and appreciate everyone coming in. I'm looking forward to another full set on the dais for our next meeting. Thank you very much. Moving on to community development staff updates. Is there any update from the community development staff? Mr. Pearson.
No additional updates. Commissioner Nash mentioned the one that I was going to, and yes, we do encourage everyone to attend that town hall, and that's from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Monday. And that's it.
Thank you very much, Mr. Pearson. And if there is no further business, Ms. Roselle. Okay, since there's no further business, the meeting will be adjourned if there is no objection. Seeing and hearing none, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you and good night. 6:30.